to the Stream.tv's Arrow After Show. We are so excited to be here because we all have entered the Lazarus Pit. I just got out from a little bathing. I am Kaori Takee, and with me I've got David Griffin.
We are all in bathrobe form today. I have to give a shout out to infinitecomics.com. That is Infinite Comics, C-O-M-I, with the X at the end, .com. If you want to know all the latest and greatest on Convergence, the awesome DC series that's going on right now, shaking up the DC universe, check out their reviews. They're reviewing all the Convergence comics right now. Check them out at infinitecomics.com.
And someone else who just came out of the Lazarus Pit is my friend Ann Campea.
Oh, actually, this robe signifies that I just slept with Oliver Queen.
Oh!
What's up, everyone?
Jealous Felicity fans.
I'm a little jelly. Maybe it was better than their sleepover. But anyway, next we've got Michael Medina.
I swear I was coming out of the Lazarus Pit, not out of Oliver's room. I swear. That wasn't me.
It was you.
It wasn't me.
So we are very, very comfy, and here is what we're going to do. We are going to give out some of our positives and our negatives, followed by some of your questions that we are going to take. And you guys can also send us your comments and your questions all along the way, all week long, all until the season's end, even after the season, at #ArrowAfterShow. So let's keep that going. That being said, guys, what are your overall thoughts of this episode?
It was a very exciting episode. Big things shaking up. Olicity fans are they're so happy right now. They're having parties.
Exploded.
Olicity fans having parties all over the world right now. It's a big day for #Olicity. It's a big day for Arrow. It's a big step for Oliver.
Olicity.
Olicity. Full
remembered.
effect. It's in full effect. So this was a big episode. I enjoyed it.
It was a big episode. I'm going to say that even though it had a lot of things going in, I was a little disappointed because I thought that there was going to be more information given to us, and it just felt a little too flat for me for what I expected. So maybe my expectations were too high, but I wanted to see more with them entering, Raj's land, and obviously Thea going to Lazarus Pit. I want to see more of that, and maybe a little bit less of the Olicity thing.
I don't know. I really enjoyed this episode. I really from start to finish. I thought it was solid. It was just I love Raish. I say this every week. Raish is such a great character, and I just love again the pacing, all the characters coming together. It was just a fun episode for me. It was not too heavy on the action, but I didn't need that. It was good storytelling.
Yeah, there was a lot of feels in this episode.
Yes, there
was
was.
a lot of people having those intimate moments together outside of Olicity happening, Yeah, it was solid. I actually enjoyed it. I think it's setting us up perfectly for the last 3 episodes?
Oh my gosh, just 3 episodes. Right. I mean, that's
Time flies.
Crazy. Yeah. Time does fly. Let's slow it down a little bit. Okay. All right, that being said, we are going to go ahead and give you some of our negatives as well as our positives, but we are going to start on the lighter side with positives. I'm sure there are many for all of us. So let's start over there from Michael.
Okay. Merlyn. That scene when they try to get that escape and save Oliver, and that was badass. I love Merlyn. He's great. Such an amazing character. Great actor. Great character. And it was just nice to see him all badass, just taking out all those soldiers. That was just a lot of fun for me.
I completely agree. I think that Merlyn really, every time he comes into a scene, at least for me, he completely steals the show. I think he's a great actor. When Thea was in the hospital and Oliver was mourning, it was really tragic and really sad, but I really especially felt it when John Barrowman came in and had tears. I was like, oh crap, this is serious.
100%
really
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is up with, John Barrowman, but Merlyn being the rational character in this episode,
So weird how he just turned around
Exactly.
like that.
I love that. I
And,
actually like that.
Him trying to convince Oliver, maybe this is not a good idea. Maybe we should try to take her to Central City and Star Labs and see what they can do there before we dip her into the pit, and I just like that, the kind of, like you said, it's kind of the tables have turned and he has become that character in this episode particularly.
I just really enjoy complex characters like that just don't stay one way, one note, from start to finish. That's kind of how we felt about Thea and how she's grown. So yeah, he's an amazing character. But I loved Maceo, Sarah, whatever you want to call him. It was great. He had his little Diggle to the rescue again, came in and smacked some sense into him. But no, he realized it's hey, I don't want to be a shell. I'm still a man. I lost my son, and he helps him in the end.
Yeah.
He just tries to.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can kind of say he is Diggle past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a way, that's the kind of bond they ended up forming. So that's kind of interesting to watch that happen. Ann?
I agree. John Barrowman is at the top of my list. The actor and the character. Any episode we have a lot of him in, I'm completely satisfied. But I have to say, the honeymoon suite at Nanda Parbat.
A lot of candles.
A lot of candles,
A lot of candles.
some goblets, you know,
Yep.
some after dinner mints on the pillows. You know, there was a lot going on in that room with Oliver and Felicity. And I don't know about you guys, but I didn't expect that to happen there. This episode.
I mean, I only knew it was coming because I'd seen like trailers and stuff. But if I hadn't seen this, I would have never seen that.
I mean,
coming, 'cause
do they really have much of a choice?
Well,
you
yeah,
know?
I
It's
mean-
like you gotta hit it and quit it in this situation.
Raish basically he laid it on pretty thick there. So I was
Yeah.
like, you better tell him, girl.
Yeah,
Exactly.
without saying you need to sleep with him, he said you need to sleep with him.
Pretty
Exactly.
much.
Like
Pretty much.
before I take him away and he forgets who Oliver Queen is. But it was, you know, it's a scene for, especially for all the Felicity fans that have been waiting for almost 3 seasons long,
Right.
you know, for them to have that type of connection. And you get it in this episode. And for me, like, because I didn't see any of the trailers, I was really surprised to see it in that format and in that room and in Ra's al Ghul's lair. But whatever, I take it. I put that in my positives because it was nice to finally see them.
A lot of passion in that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
That's
of
true
feels.
love, what we're seeing right there. That's what true love looks like,
I
ladies and gentlemen.
mean, let's be fair
True
though.
love.
Felicity has been full of emotions and passion in the past
Yeah.
couple episodes. She's just,
Emotional roller coaster.
yeah.
There's a little 50 Shades of Grey going on there.
Yeah.
A little
Oh.
bit for the
Little bit.
CW.
Yeah.
I would say my other positive would be Tatsu. I thought she kicked ass in this episode.
Really? Okay.
You know, with her
Good.
sword fighting, you know, she doesn't need a gun. She doesn't need all the weapons that everybody else had. By the way, everybody in that scene where they were trying to overhaul that truck or whatever, we were saying they shot like stormtroopers.
Yeah, he's on top of the sunroof. There's a waste somewhere. They can't hit him once. He's like, that bad of a shot. Yeah.
But I did. I like the action from her particularly. You know, she knows how to use a sword.
All right. Okay. Well, some of my positives. I actually really appreciate the scenery, the change of atmosphere. You know, we're no longer in Starling City. We're actually in Raj's land. All the little things. Like, they did a really good job with choosing the location. I know this is kind of not really the story itself, but it just worked out. And I thought that was really cool. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
John Barrowman, of course. I don't know what else to say. I'm going to say this is a little like pinpointing, but at the end when Raj defines assassins, I really appreciated that. How he made assassins, which usually we're used to hearing it as a negative connotation, he made it sound like something of a high regard, and I really, it came powerful to me.
But I know, Kaori, you're a
good
big
point.
video gamer. Kind of remind me of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
you know,
right?
like they're set apart, they're different. You know, it's cool to see that whole mythology with the assassins. It's really
Something
Yeah.
you're saying about like scenery, I think that plays an important role in movies, TVs, because I know David and I, we joke around a lot. We love the show, but when you see the same back alley almost every other episode
Yeah.
and the steam, it gets a little old. So I mean, I thought that really, I really felt like, you know, I wasn't anywhere near Starling City, someplace completely different. So I thought that was really great. Like if you watch a show like Daredevil, you know, which isn't fair to compare the two, but like it feels like you're in New York City. It doesn't feel like the same back alley, you know, that you see all the
Vancouver.
time in Starling City. And I get it, it's different. We're comparing Daredevil to the CW. You got like your budgets. I get it, that's fine. But no, they did a good job this episode.
Yeah, I agree. David.
My favorite's all the conversation pieces. I love the first one I really liked was Raish talking to Felicity. I thought that was an awesome scene. Again, just the guy's just
I agree.
delivering line after line. He's just killing it. I mean, just telling his story. Now, he's probably telling half truths. You can't tell exactly how honest Raish is being in any given moment. But I love the dialogue. Just talking about how, you know, I had this opportunity. You know, I could either keep my wife and my kids, or I could, you know, go do this, go join here, and then face something worse than death.
That's
was
the
great.
beauty
Yeah.
about Raish, and whether it's in the comics or in this particular, you know, show, is that you can't tell. I mean, you think he does a lot of bad things, but yet he's good, and it's just something that they've been able to really balance on this show, and I really appreciate
Because
that.
the best villains that we've seen are never villains that are cut and dry,
Right.
evil.
Like
You know,
Malcolm.
there's always
Oh.
some ambiguity.
Yeah.
There's always
Just like
some.
the
There's always another
magician.
story
That's the
there.
thing. A lot of these villains don't wake up every morning thinking, I'm going to do something villainous today. Like, a lot of them think that they're doing right.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm sure in his own twisted mind, he thinks he's doing the right
Oh,
thing. I think he was
absolutely.
being sincere, though, in this particular scene. I think he was being sincere. Like, look, this still eats me up, you know? So it's like you have an opportunity to basically do what I couldn't
And
So
hopping off of what you were saying, I really did appreciate getting a mild backstory of Rosh and what happened with him and what happened and why he had to choose between a loving family, which he thought was great, and then moving on to become the leader of the demons. So.
Many lifetimes ago.
I mean, I guess I'm on the like 2% that actually did not appreciate that scene.
Really?
Because I do not like seeing Ra's al Ghul have any emotion. He's supposed to be scary. He's supposed to be the demon. And here he is saying, I love somebody and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, I'd rather just not know that much of you to know that you have a semblance of a heart inside of you. Like for me, he should strike fear in everybody, and just to know that he has that type of particular past where he loves somebody so dearly, and this is why he is the way he is. For me, I didn't like it. I didn't buy it.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense though, because it's kind of how I always felt about Wolverine in the comic books. Like prior to like the 2000s, we didn't know anything about him. It was such a mystery, and I think that made him so cool. But then, we got like Origin back in the early 2000s, and suddenly they wanted like everyone, their mama knows like his backstory, and it takes away from the character. So that's a good point. I can see that.
Another conversation piece I want to do. My other favorite scene was Diggle and Oliver broing it out. Bromance of the century. Hashtag bromance. Hashtag Arrow After Show.
They should have a name. It should be like, Digiver? Oligal?
Move over, Olicity.
Gotta
Move
think of
over,
something.
Raylicity. That is the ultimate relationship.
So cute.
Gotta think of something. Hashtag, if you guys have any ideas, please send them our way.
Yes.
The love is as strong as you guys.
Yeah, you guys are
Oh, hey, we're in our robes.
I just have one thing to say about that is very important. Roy Harper, aka Colton Haynes, has a new haircut. He's currently in France. Yes, I stalk him, so go check him out. And please join our show.
What does that have to do? I love it.
It has nothing
I love
to do.
it.
I have to keep him alive until, his next show, We got to keep it going.
So is that a negative of yours? Because there's no
Always
Roy.
a negative.
First
No
episode
Roy.
with no Roy.
No, salmon ladder, that was Asian in me. So, Asian parents. Yeah. All right. All right, let's get on to some of our negatives, because there are always some negatives. So let's start this way. Let's go backwards.
Oh, it's tough. I enjoyed this episode. Maybe all of us can just feed into this. I think a lot of us probably still have some issues with the flashbacks.
Yep.
A lot of us probably agree with that.
Except
They're
I
not
am.
bad scenes, just feel kind of out of place. So there's so much going on right now with Ra's al Ghul and over the League of Assassins that I want to stay and focus on that. When we bounce back to Maceo and everything going on over there back in the day, it's like I just don't know if I really care about it as much. Maybe it'll build up to something in the end, but right now it just seems kind of out of place.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but I've always loved the flashbacks. They always would do such a great job with those, but I felt like this is the first time where I'm just like, I care more about what's going on in present day. I'm sure they've got their end game. They know what they're doing, and hopefully it's going to be huge. I mean, we already know about Maceo's kid being dead, and that was like, I was kind of hoping that would have been, they could have saved that, just so we can get that payoff. Because now it's like, oh, we know he dies, so now it's like, how does he die?
I think the problem with the flashbacks, personally for me, was this season, it's not really giving us much development or much information. It just feels like a distraction from present day. So I'm hoping that they will kind of lead to some kind of culmination of something big, which we have still yet to really realize.
Well, I'm really hoping. I'm still holding out for like Maceo's kid. Maybe he was dead and came back to the Lazarus pit, and now he's just like a badass assassin.
Yeah.
He's like, this show's version of Damien. Fingers crossed.
No, I totally agree, because Diggle asked for his name, like specifically, right? And I was like,
exactly.
is Diggle writing that down so he can check the Argus files to see if Akito is still alive?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Oh, another negative.
I know, you can do
I
this.
was like, wait, I guess the end of Raylicity. I'm an Olicity fan, so don't unfollow me, Olicity fans.
I got that on my list.
Oh no, I'm taking everybody's.
That's okay. We can all share.
We can all just share.
We can all share.
It's
I'm
the
very
group.
disappointed.
I know it has to happen. I know that he's going to be on his own spin-off show, which is right now called The Atom. That is tentative. They haven't actually hammered that down. They could change the name anytime, but right now it is The Atom. It's his show. Felicity's got to stay on the Arrow. She can't follow him everywhere he goes, so she's got to do her own thing. But it is sad, the end of Raylicity. I thought that was a cute couple as well, even though I'm still an Olicity fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the type of person that kind of goes for the underdog, and I was kind of rooting for Ray Palmer. I felt like he could treat her better, and in the long run, she's chasing someone that's ultimate goal is not her. She, as much as he loves her, she's not a priority, and this comes into real life situations. You know what I mean? But she's not a priority. She's just not. And I think that Ray could be, a better fit for her in the long run. So it was really tragic
She wants
for
the
me.
bad boy.
Yeah.
That's all
And
it
I'm
is.
also sad we're losing Brandon Routh. Like,
Yeah.
I love
He's
him as
great.
an actor. I've been
Yeah.
waiting for him to do some stuff, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
he's on Arrow, and then now we're losing him
Well,
to
the good
his own
thing,
show.
yeah, good thing we're still gonna see him.
Yeah.
So at least they're not killing him off or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but no, I hear you. He's great.
Yeah, I'm really sad to see that go. And then also, you guys are going to kill me, but I'm going to say, I love Felicity, let me say that. But lately, she just doesn't come off as a strong woman. And that is something that I'm disappointed in. I know she sits there and goes up to Raish and says, yo, like, this is not cool, I'm going to take him back. But every single word she says comes out of desperation and emotion and tragedy. And I know she's dealing with a lot, but I'm missing that strong Felicity that I'm so used to, and that the person that I loved in season 1 and season 2 that I was like, I really think Oliver should go for her, because now it's like, okay, she's kind of used more as a tool to show what Oliver's losing, and it just, I don't know, it disappoints
Well,
me.
that makes sense. I mean, again, like you said, we kind of saw that briefly when she went up and challenged Raish.
Yeah.
Hopefully now that Oliver is with the league, maybe now she'll take more of a leadership role, because I mean, I don't know what Diggle's deal is. He should be the leader at this point,
Right?
but who knows what he's up to. He's retired. But I'd like to see her take more of a leadership role. I think it'd be great. Still, he's retired, but he's still going on all these, like, excursions, these adventures.
He has
I'm
a
like,
kid at home.
Yeah, he's got
He
a
has
kid at home.
yeah.
Dude, it's hard when you're having so much fun out there. You know?
Yeah, I can
Okay,
imagine.
I'm
I can imagine.
And
You guys basically covered every negative I had. I said Ra's al Ghul giving love advice. I thought that was a little odd. Raylicity ending, that's on my list. No Roy this episode. Flashbacks, as we all said.
Yeah.
And last thing I think that we haven't covered yet is, for me, and I said this last week and maybe even the week before, so I'm like a broken record here, but Oliver being irrational. I just, Oliver is the main character of the show, and anytime that he, I sense any weakness in the character, I'm a little disappointed, because it's just like, what happened? You were the leader of this group, and all of a sudden you're like, let's take Thea to the Lazarus pit, not even considering any alternative, methods. Not even listening to Merlyn. It just throws me off a little bit.
I agree with you there, but just to counterbalance that, thank goodness for Malcolm Merlyn to really save that, the rational and the irrational. He actually switched places with Oliver in this particular moment, so I really appreciate that.
I agree with that. My only thing is that, again, it goes back to Raish being such a badass that I feel like he took this strong character and broke him down. Like, it takes a certain type of person to be able to do that. He went straight for Oliver's heart and, almost killed Thea. Basically forcing him to do it. Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, if anything, I just took that from this whole thing. Like, he's a strong character, but again, he just mentally just completely gone. And he needed Merlyn to come in and basically,
I feel like throughout this whole entire season, Oliver has been kind of broken, and he's been faced with a lot of challenges that he's completely not used to. He's pretty much lost his identity as Arrow. We kind of don't recognize him anymore, which obviously he's got a whole new outfit and all this stuff is coming, and it's like, what's gonna happen
New
for
brand.
us viewers?
New brand in the bag, a little
exactly.
Arrow.
went for his collection. He's got tattoos, got scars.
I mean, in season 1, we would have never expected him to be exactly where he is now. So, some of your negatives?
Really, you guys, I agree with all your negatives. My biggest one being the flashbacks this whole season. I just feel like they've been, whatever. I'm excited to see where they go with this, but the journey to get to there is just kind of boring for me. But
it just doesn't really tie together. Like last week we had Amanda Waller, and then this week we had a little bit more anxiety with the son. So when is it all this going to point to one ending? And what is the culmination of it?
I don't know if I just like the island more. The idea of him being trapped on the island, maybe I just don't care much about him being like in Hong Kong. I don't know what it is. It's just something about it's just not clicking for me.
The pacing is off. Like you guys mentioned, the pacing is off. Usually in season 1, they were like, oh my gosh, all this stuff happened on the island. At the same time, all this stuff happened in Starling City. But it doesn't seem to be at the same level this season.
That's a good point. It feels like a lot slower. Like whereas days happen it just happens so quickly in Starling City, it's so much slower in Hong
Like
Kong.
you want it to just be fluid and just kind of just keep going, just flow. When I'm not getting that here, I'm getting like coming to these screeching halts from this amazing story being told to something. Oh, it's a flashback.
It's like, oh, distraction.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that being said, we are going to take some viewer questions. And you guys are more than welcome to tweet us all week long, all season long, at #ArrowAfterShow because we would love to take your questions as well as your comments here on the stream.tv. Without further ado, Ann's got them going on.
Ooh, okay, so at Yelly Bear asks, Oliver gets stabbed and thrown off a cliff. Lives without any effects, but Thea gets stabbed and needs the Lazarus pit? Question mark.
I asked that question many a time.
My answer, CW.
Let's not forget, Oliver had that tea. He did have that tea. Tossed some ice, some
And that
snow on there.
Snickers bar that Katsu handed him
Yeah.
at the end, I think
Yeah.
that also had some
It
medicinal.
really is
Especially
satisfying.
if that Snickers bar has been in the freezer for a couple hours, then that's going to do the trick.
Good
You
stuff.
know?
Yeah, I didn't get that either. That was one of those like, okay, I guess we're gonna go there.
Good funny comment, but we'll roll with it.
Very
We'll roll with it.
observant, I
Yes.
have to say. All right, next question comes from Emily Bett fans #1. What did you think about the Elicity scenes tonight?
That's,
Oh,
an
this
Elicity,
one-
that's an Elicity fan right there, just by her Twitter handle.
Yes.
This
This is
one's
a
going to
Felicity
hate
fan.
me because, I mean, getting technical, I'm like, she did not jump on him correctly, but that aside,
Well, she's supposed to be awkward, right?
no,
she
come
doesn't
on.
know.
You've been
This
waiting
is
so
She
supposed
doesn't
to
know
be
what sex
a
is,
romantic-
okay?
This is true love. This
Passionate
is love
scene.
making.
They
Love
love
making.
each other. It's CW. You got candles. You got soft
So
lighting.
did you enjoy every single moment of it, or was there a moment, like Ann Campea said, where you were like, cut the black, cut the black, cut the black, cut the black?
There might have been one or two
I could
moments
have
when
seen
I
a little
rolled
more.
my eyes.
I could watch a little
You know.
more. I could maybe see the extended director's cut version. I could have seen a little bit more.
Only because I'm used to CW shows where they're like, okay, they show the back and then it's like done, like the sex scene is done.
Vampire Diaries can get a little.
Yeah,
They
but-
went a little really far.
They
further
They
than I
were like,
thought.
let's
did.
give the Elicity fans a lot more than
Listen,
they
people are so happy right now.
expected.
Yep, they've earned it. They've
They
earned
had,
it.
you guys
That's true.
have,
loyal.
That's the payoff.
fair
right
enough,
there.
fair enough.
Hashtag Olicity.
Yeah. Someone's an Elicity fan.
Oh, I love Olicity.
Someone's gonna go download Elicity porn later on.
No, I don't know that far. Oh,
can have that scene on loop.
No, I mean, I do have my robe on, but.
Just playing in the background, going to sleep too.
All right, let's move on to the next question before this gets a little crazy.
Okay.
Python Mom asks, so Roz had a son and a daughter. So is that confirmation that there is no Talia in the Arrowverse?
You know, it's funny. I was actually hoping when he was telling that story that he would mention that he had a daughter named Talia. Just throwing that out there, it's like, okay,
I
that would have been cool.
know,
'Cause
right?
we're not going to see Talia. It's you know, Nisa's kind of filling that void.
Yeah.
But I was hoping for it, but we didn't get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's Nisa because it's like you said lifetimes ago.
Yeah.
Even though it was weird because Malcolm, he said that he was only around like over 100 years, but the way he sounds like it's centuries that he's been alive.
Well, he said hundreds. So
Or
that could have
hundreds,
been like
so not just
3 or
100.
4.
Yeah.
100
So
years.
but if Nisa's
The vampire.
unless Nisa somehow I don't know how she'd be that old unless she goes in Lazarus Pit too.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's yeah.
I don't think his daughter was Nisa though.
No,
Maybe
I
he has
don't think
2
it's
kids.
Oh no, I mean like those kids are probably long gone. I just think it would have been kind of cool if he would have mentioned one of his kids was named Talia.
Yeah, because I'm curious
You
where
know.
Nisa's
Like a
from.
name drop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm curious where
That would've-
Nisa's from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who-
And
who-
Shout out to Python
We
Mom
gotta get an
because
origin
she's
story at some point.
Are
Yeah.
we trying to find out who
Solid
the baby daddy of Nisa is?
That's what I want to know.
Okay.
Baby mama.
Baby mama,
daddy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
I don't know how that
mama.
works.
The answer is
She
Michael
adopted?
Medina. Michael Medina. Right here. He's like, I don't know who that is because that's me.
All right, I go over here. All right, I gotta read the next question.
You can do this.
I Crazy Davy asks,
Crazy?
with Oliver and Flash's finale, do you all think Flash could be in Arrows?
Yeah.
Why not?
Of course.
Oh,
they
for
should
sure.
all be in each other's
sure.
finales.
It would be nice to see that happen. They're having tons of crossovers. We had Katie Cassidy in the previous episode and a little snippet of her in this one. It's great. I
Yeah, 2 weeks
love.
in a row crossovers now.
Yeah, I'm really digging how these things are like just going
Yeah.
through, and I think they need more of them.
Wait, can we talk about a little Laurel love on this episode? Even though I
Because
know.
you want to? Okay, let's do
Well,
it.
yeah. I mean,
I have no issues with Laura. I
in
like
this
Laura.
episode or in Flash?
In the
Yeah, I
Flash
think we're talking
episode.
about the
I know this is
Flash.
not the Flash after show. They have their own after
they
show.
do a great job.
Devon,
by the
those
way.
guys
They
over
do.
there are
You guys are great.
fantastic.
We
They
watch
do a
Flash.
great
we can
job.
talk about Flash.
But it's part of the same universe. We can talk a little bit about Flash. I just want to say since I forget her name.
Yes.
Katie Cassidy?
Katie Cassidy.
Laurel.
The lovely Laurel.
Laurel.
I'm trying to give some love and I forget her name. Laurel, I loved all of her scenes with Cisco.
Yeah.
They were so cute. Like I loved how she gave him that photo and says,
Yeah.
"If you show anybody, I'll kill you." She was fun. She was happy. She wasn't dark and
Yeah.
gritty. She was just being fun. And when she's fun, she's cute. She's a really pretty girl.
They had the
so
cute
it's
little
nice.
music playing.
Yeah, I like that scene.
I think coming off the heels of the Flash and watching her on the Flash and seeing her hug Felicity, you see her kind of being like, It's all right. I'm used to this. I'm used to him just
Yeah.
ditching us and everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of humorous.
And then how
true.
Joe was giving
You know?
advice
Yeah.
to her dad.
Captain Lance.
Yeah, Captain Lance about kind of like, learning to forgive and do anything you can for your daughter. And those are nice moments. I really like that.
I'm glad we're getting a lot of these little cameos, these crossovers. I didn't think we were going to get any more after like that
I love it.
mid-season
Yeah,
roughly.
that's
I think
true.
I thought they were just going to do that and then all right, maybe next season. But now it's so seamless. It doesn't feel out of place because they've created this like huge universe now, which I'm just so happy about. I love it. I hope we see more. I'm sure we will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to say, since you went off topic, Grant Gustin is bae. I love it.
I don't know.
he's bae.
Cisco is kind of bae too.
Sorry, okay.
So cute.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta hop onto the Flash after show and talk about how bae those guys are. That being said, that about wraps up our questions from you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, don't forget, comments, questions at #ArrowAfterShow, and you guys can continue to follow us in various places, starting with Michael, where at?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Mr. Michael Alexis. In case you wanted to watch a little sports news, you can also find David and myself right here on the hottest sports show on all the internet, 3 Minute Warning.
Yeah, and
You guys can follow me at Ann Campea as well as Kaori and I at Team Amazing.
that's right. We are wrapping up a new show for you guys coming out this Friday or Saturday. Yeah, you can follow us at Team Amazing on Instagram as well as Twitter, and myself right down here, not down here, but at Kaorius, Kaorious,
There it is,
Instagram
right down there.
and Twitter. There it is, but now it's going away because David.
You can find me at Griffin DE. I'll also be here with Michael tomorrow, as he said, on 3 Minute Warning. #3MW for all you sports fans and Arrow fans. Make the little Arrow trivia, sports trivia in there. Mix it up a little bit. We'll be here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, to talk about some sports.
Yes, and thank you again so much for tuning in. And don't forget to rate, subscribe, comment right here on the stream.tv. And we will catch you guys next time for some more Arrow After Show. Bye.
Hey guys, if you want more Arrow or other after shows, click the subscribe button to the stream.tv.